Welcome to another session. Fasting. We're on 8th day out of 21 days. To be honest with you, I don't know how I'm going to be able to produce the videos because I know 1 minute I am exercising without recording. Next minute I'm recording and exercising. Next minute it's like raining, so I'm not recording. And then I had like a playlist going on. So I'm very curious. I'm gonna put the month of June of 2022 fasting together. The workout is very consistent. I'm very proud of myself on that. Hopefully your exercise and your whatever you're fasting is very consistent, and just pushing through with that. Today we're gonna listen to Immortal Mindz, How to Swing for the Fence in Life. Once again, I'm going with this brother here for this month. Definitely great information. It's almost as if I could speak his words properly, the way he shared his information. That's how I feel, to be honest with you. So just because I don't have a big choice of words in this moment, let's be able to listen to somebody else that's pushing and striving for that greatness, that abundance, that awareness, that self-reflect, that gratitude, looking at life different, and I'm pretty sure there's a good amount of people that never knew that there's information out there that kind of look at life different. What are the distractions in life? What are some of the things that we have to unplug? I know for me it was definitely social media. I know for me it's just isolating or hiatus, taking some time away from some family and friends, just to be able to focus in on what's important for me. Definitely being compassionate when it's necessary, for the ones that lost their life this year or the ones that lost their life last year. Sometimes, it's about me, but I still want to be able to support the ones that are going through something the best way I can. It may not be financially, but definitely that emotional support is definitely well needed in today's world. All right, the exercise, the same thing that was before. Leave a comment below if I should repeat the exercise more often or if I shouldn't, because it's very redundant. So but I know it's 10 sets of everything. Okay, 10 sets on the 10 reps, 10 sets, that's a lot. 10 reps on the single leg alternate lunge, the 10 reps on the squats, things like that. I always intro it in, but just follow me. If you see me switch into something else, pause the video, switch it. If the information is helpful that you're listening to and it's your first time, leave a comment. So let's get started. I'm all over the place right now. I don't like to feel that way, but let's get started with this. And we're about to get started with Immortal Mindz, How to Swing for the Fence in Life. All right.
Man, I've practiced many things, man. I've practiced a few religions. I've participated in certain meditation and prayer rituals. But one thing I've never even thought about entertaining, man, was when people are talking about grounding, man. Grounding and sun gazing. Of course I love, soaking up those sun rays when I go on a walk or a jog. But I've never combined the two. I've never even thought about this grounding technique, right? But I can tell you, man, I've been doing this for about not even a week yet. And brother, I can tell you, there's a different, level of data that comes with this, man. There's a different level of clarity as far as the downloads you receive by doing this. When you think about it, man, like nature, connected with nature is almost like connecting directly to the plug, man. You think about how this world works. You think about all the technology. You think about all the advancements in this world, right? But when you want to get back just to the raw state of being human, But it's nothing like coming out, man, and connecting directly, flesh to soil with the earth, bro. With nature. And sun rays, you know what I'm saying? It's a different kind of clarity, brother. But nature is the plug, man. So yeah, make sure y'all get out, man, and enjoy some of this, bro. I was thinking about something. There was this show that used to come on, and it may still come on. I don't know, these type shows. And I don't know if this was like the final reward for winning some other prize. But long story short, there was this game show. You have two people in a grocery store, right? Two different carts, and they would set the timer, man, for like 30 seconds or a minute or whatever. And these people had the ability, the freedom to go around and get as much stuff and put it in a cart as they wanted to, man. They could get anything they wanted to get. Didn't have a value, didn't have a size, as long as it was in that cart, right? Now what you would see is people, man, just scrambling, boom, 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 trying to get all this good stuff, man, trying to get all the, the high dollar stuff, the tissue, the laundry detergents, the food, the steaks or whatever, right? What you didn't see is somebody getting that cart, man, and kind of just lollygagging around like we do when we go grocery shopping, man, kind of just looking, reading ingredients and all this stuff. With a minute left on, with a minute on the table, you didn't see anybody just lollygagging, right? And it made me think about life, right? I said, if we let's say a man lives to be 100 years, right? 100 years old. If we're here for a certain amount of time and we have the ability to get anything we want, to do anything we want, to have any type of person we want, like why don't we move like that? Why aren't we just moving throughout this world trying to have as many experiences as possible, man? Trying to meet as many solid people, trying to gain as many things as we can before the clock is out. Like, what is it in us that makes us just, do the same thing, have the same experience, unfavorable, undesired experience for 40, 50 years? That's almost equivalent to somebody being in that same game show, going to the ketchup and reading the directions for about 45 seconds out of that minute. Throw it in the cart, walk around, start squeezing the lemons, look at the lemons. Next thing you know, the timer then went off, right? It's the equivalent to that. Like we have to stop living our lives like this. We have to understand that, like, we only have one shot at this. Like, this is gonna be one life, man. Like this is it. And I'm telling you guys, we have to start swinging for the fence.
Is it not written in your law that ye are gods? You understand what I'm saying? So it just depends on what level you own based on, whether you're human or whether you're immortal.
So a friend of mine from my hometown recommended this book to me, right? And she said, I want you to read this book, and when you read it, I want you to call me and let me know what you thought about it, right? So I already knew that she figured it would have some kind of impact on me. And the name of that book is 5 Things You Must Do Before You Die. Now, I haven't seen the book in probably, I don't know how long, but I was looking for it before I started this video because I wanted to show it to you. But I can't find it, right? And this is the thing, man. Like this book is not even in my top 10 of books. Like I never talk about this book. And the reason is not that it's a bad book. I just didn't read the whole thing. Like I got to a certain point and it impacted me so much that I just sit it down and started moving, right? I'm going to say it again. This book is not in my top 10 list, right? But this book, hands down, of all books, had the most effect on me as far as moving fast and in a different direction. I didn't even get to finish it, right? Now, I couldn't tell you what the whole book is about. It's about a few different things, but the one chapter I focused on was a chapter where a guy was specifically talking about him going around and like talking to older people or talking to people that are, on a deathbed, in these final type situations. And he was just asking about questions about life, what they wish, what they wish they would have done, accomplished, relationships, just all kind of challenges they wish they would have pursued, right? And the majority of them, like the common denominator was that most of them all had this regret. That was pretty much standard across the board. And me being an empath, man, I could feel that. I could feel it in this man's words. And it affected me so much that I set this book down and changed my life that day. I can remember I cut friends off. I can remember I deleted some numbers out of my phone. There was the day I started my first YouTube channel. It had just put me in a different kind of mode. And the thing, what it did really is put me in a mode. It kind of switched gears. You got to understand that before that, I was just kind of living life in a safe manner, like most people. Most people don't live life on offense, trying to score, trying to win, trying to profit. Everybody plays the game just trying to just play it safe. Like let me just lean back, man. If I just keep my mouth closed for 30 or 40 years, I can just get tapped into this 401k, man, and just fall off into my own world. If I don't try to push myself hard, I can just stay at this job, or I can just stay in this relationship that I don't want because it's safe. I know this person is not going to cheat on me. Everybody, or the majority of people, man, are living their lives in a safe manner. And what that did is it just took me out of that. It put me on my deathbed at hopefully 100 years old or greater. It put me in the mentality of being on my deathbed and not having, pursue things that I really wanted to pursue. You know what I'm saying? And brother, I'm telling you, that's a bad feeling. That has to be one stage higher than hell. You know what I'm saying? It has to be, right? So as soon as I got in this mode, this is when things started clicking for me, man. Like things just started. A lot of books that I've been reading for years, the Think and Grow Rich. A lot of these older books I talk about, I've been reading them for years, man. But something still hadn't clicked, and I can tell you when it clicked. Again, this was 2016, I believe, when she recommended that book. I can remember sitting at the time my son went with me.
All right, so tonight's a little something different. This is once again the 8th day out of 21 days. For some reason, this month I've been able to push a little bit more. I shared it on the video before that you may see me do the exercise now, but behind the scene, I'm doing a little bit more behind the scene. Either it's push up, either it's a dumbbell, and either it's like shoulder shrugs. All right, now about to do round 2. That's what I'm calling it. The same thing, same exact exercise. Round 2 on that. I should be able to finish before this audio is finished. Audio video before it's finished, and closing thoughts, and just continue on another day. All right, it's summertime now, so I want to continue another day, but how's the weather holding up is another question. It's out of my control. But let's get started. Round 2 is something different I didn't do before. I'm gonna do the same exact thing, and it's a great feeling. Close out. All right, as we continue.
As he's giving them, he's just creating a man. He's creating the energy that he wants to portray in this game, and once he does that, that's his energy. And I was like, that's how life works, man. You have to understand that this game of life, all we're doing is creating our avatars, our thoughts, our meditations, all that stuff. All we're doing is creating the version of us that we want to portray in this story of life. You know what I'm saying? The thing is this, man. Once you understand that we are not here, once you understand that the truest part of us is still residing in the 5th dimension, everything makes sense. Everything makes sense. And I've referenced this a number of times, but I said another thing that snapped me out of that is when I watched the movie Avatar. I was like, that's how life works, man. It's back and forth between dimensions. You know, but this is what I remember, man. I always tell brothers. That when you're creating this character, I always tell brothers that when you're in your meditation, I always say that you have to be coming from the place of first person point of view. Always. And the reason behind that is because in the first person is where emotions are stirred up. And we all know that emotions are what the creative force is, right? But there's one time, guys, and I never talk about this. There's a time where you need to be, or where I would highly recommend you meditating in the first person point of view. In other words, to the point where you're looking yourself, you're observing yourself on the screen of life. You know what I'm saying? And that is when you're making a hard transition in life. Every time I'm making a hard transition in life, whether it's a new career path, whether it's a new, just a new journey in life, I always start my meditations off for at least maybe a day or two, only in third person. You know what I'm saying? Because what I'm doing is I'm watching myself and I'm operating myself from my mind instead of my body. In other words, just like my son is sitting back on the couch, creating a man on screen, he's watching it. I'm watching myself do the things that I would do if I was that person. I'm conditioning my mind, right? And again, I might do this for 1 or 2 days, sometimes more, depending on what this move is like, right? I'm literally watching myself, right? I'm watching myself, but I'm controlling that person from the place where I am. All that's doing, guys, is strengthening. It's like going to the gym. It's strengthening your separation between your mind and your body. It's strengthening the connect. It's strengthening the difference between the third and the fifth dimension. At the same time, it's showing that it's one, but it's strengthening them both, right? But so that's what I do, man. And once I found out, brothers, that I could create my own character, man, my life changed so freaking fast. It makes absolutely no sense. I can remember years before that, 5, 6, maybe 7 years before that, all I wanted to do, man, is travel. I wanted to hit Dubai. I wanted to hit a few different places in the globe. I said, man, I just want to travel. But it can never come to be. It just never panned out. I don't know what the reason was, or now I do, but I couldn't make sense of it. I was like, man, I just want to travel. I can remember that next year, after reading that book, after understanding how this world works, brother, I don't think I spent but maybe 6 or 7 months. I don't know how much, man. I don't know how much time I spent in country, but I stayed gone the whole year, bro. I think I hit Dubai twice that year. I think I hit Egypt that year. I think I hit Mexico that year. So you're talking about a guy going from going nowhere. All I was doing was going to work every day, clocking in, clocking out. Once I understood I could create this own image, brothers, I started swinging for the fence. I started swinging for the fence, man. So you go from that in the very next year, brother, I'm staying out of the country. It was a complete mindset shift, brothers. I'm telling you, we have to stop living this safe type mentality and start swinging for the fence. And then I remember that whole year I stayed traveling. And then I said, man, if I can create, this life, then what I need to do is create a life where I can have that freedom to do it anytime. Because see, I was still restricted between, trying to travel and still trying to work. I said, if I can create anything, why don't I just create a world where I'm working for myself? I'm doing my own thing, right? So that whole next year, I started building on that. And I'm telling you, brothers, you got to understand, I'm just now starting to learn this stuff in the grand scheme of things. I'm 45 years old. I just started picking this stuff up in, 2015, 2016, 2017, as hard as I'm going now. Not the overall knowledge. I've been studying it forever. So it's like I'm just now getting started. My life right now is exactly how I make it, but I'm just now getting started. If I live to be 100 years old, but there's no telling what kind of experiences I'm going to experience. And it's not about, at least for me, it's not about, obtaining things. For everybody, it's different. If you want to obtain things, cribs, Lambos, jets, with all that stuff, brother, you can create that. You simply need to swing for the fence. If you want to be a person that travels to, all corners of the globes at all time, be able to spend, some months in Asia, spend some months in South Africa, you can create that life, but you have to swing for the fence. And the thing is, the thing is, this is what I'll do forever. You know what I'm saying? Like even when I pass on, I will still do this. You know what I'm saying? Whether I go to a different realm or whether I respawn on this one, this is what I will always do, because there is nothing higher than that when you think about it. Think about it. To even be in that energy, you have to be in the presence of the Most High, the universe, whatever you want to call it. You have to be in that presence. So that's what heaven is. So what state can be higher than heaven? You know what I'm saying? So if this is where I am, then this is where I'll always be, and this is what I always do. You got to understand, man, we always say that, we're made in the image of the Creator. You know what I'm saying? But we don't govern ourselves accordingly. We don't move like that. We don't think like that. We still getting this mindset of, okay, well, let's prepare this life and so we can be solid in the afterlife. The afterlife, whatever takes place after this life, is irrelevant if you're tuned in. If you're tied into the plug, think about how, what else is there to achieve? So you'll always be in this same state, man. I'm telling you, it clarifies a whole lot of things. All I'm saying, brothers, is let's just pause, man. Let's just pause and analyze our lives. It's all about expansion. That's what life is about, expansion. And we've been talking about that in the power circle. A few brothers that haven't been in the power circle, man, we're talking about powerful things. We're talking about things that change our lives completely. You know what I'm saying? That's what it's all about, man. We have to stop living this safe life. We have to look at this world as a playground. We have to look at this world as a video game. I'm sure most of us have kids that play these games all day, man. Think about what's taking place and think about how it relates to us as human beings. It's a powerful thing, man. At the end of the day, guys, we got to just, start conducting ourselves different. We have to really just remember who we are. We have to remember what we're capable of. Then we got to ask ourselves, like, if I'm made in the image of the Creator, then I have to start conducting myself like I am that.
All right. That was a little bit longer than, excuse me. That was a little bit longer than I expected. I'm neutral right now, peace right now, and thankful. And I share that because I ran for a fast time of 11 and 13 seconds. If I want to add a little bit more seconds on there, it might have been 11 and 15. Let me see. Pretty sure it wasn't that bad. Yeah. So if I want to add 2 more seconds just to say, I wasn't being exact, 11 and 15 seconds, which is one of my fastest time in doing the same length around in the neighborhood here in South Florida. That I was giving praises to 12 minutes. I think that was the month of April. I was able to get through with 12 minutes and 20 seconds, 12 minutes and 30 seconds, things like that. So I was like really hyper, really amped up about that. But tonight was one of those situations. I went the distance. It might have been over a handful of times I wanted to stop and catch my breath. It was a whole lot of times my system was going into a transition I wasn't familiar with, like it really was pushing through, but I just ignored the signs. It was that no pain, no gain type of deal. It was pain, but I just kept on pushing. And on the last stretch, I gave it all. That when I hit the timer, it said 11:13, but I give it extra 2 seconds. I can say give it 11 minutes and 15 seconds. So it is interesting that I could hit the low 11. That means it is a possible I can go the distance to bring it down to potentially 11 flat, potentially 11 11 minutes and 30 seconds, which will be 30 seconds faster than 12 minutes. So for anybody that's into timer and used to run track and field, football, things like that, I hope you understand where I'm coming from. Or if not, if you're not into sports but you still understand, thank you. Okay. Once again, extra on the exercise, did 2 rounds of the same thing. The ab planks, when I'm on my forearms here on the plank, if you guys notice, I did an extra back curve, which allows me to engage the abs a little bit more. There's a YouTuber, I don't have his name, I'll get his name, but he was saying, well, instead of doing planks straight, you know, just give it more of an arc into it to engage into the abs, and it was very helpful. On the squats, the Asian squats, the deep squats, I was trying to hit 30 seconds, but I ended up hitting 40 seconds. So normally when the 30 seconds hit, I'm already used to it, so I push it to 40 seconds. Hopefully I could push it more to a minute, but there's no rush for that. Just really taking my time in that area. I do want to adjust the wood that I'm using, because it supports the heel, so at least it has like a balance when doing the squat. But somebody else said the more you get used to it, you know, eventually I don't need the piece of wood anymore. Overall, spiritually and everything else in life, you hear from Immortal Mindz, you know, with the whole grocery cart, you know, the timer's going down, everybody putting things in the cart as much as possible. You know, he used that as a metaphor today's in life in general, where, you know, everybody's doing the best they can, being top of the top, you know, chasing the bag, all of that stuff is great. I'm pretty sure someone that's meditating, a monk comes to mind, someone that's just one with themselves and things around it, is like, to them that's rich, to them that's wealth. You know, they're not using the material things to determine their wealth. I believe and I think the material things are just add-ons. If I'm looking forward to drive a white Lexus, I don't have it now, a white Lexus coupe RC 350. I don't have it right now, but I do envision myself driving it. I do know when I do drive the car, I'm still making sure I'm still the same person I am. Like, the car doesn't change who I am. It's just a car I use to use from point A to point B, you know, to be honest with you. But you know, same thing with my bank account. My bank account looking decent right now. If it's more or less, I'm doing my due diligence to not change my character, who I am in today's world. And a lot comes into that. Self-reflection, journaling, meditating, prayers. There's a lot that goes into getting an opportunity to know yourself. That's one of the reasons why I celebrate, or I appreciate, the age of 33. Hands down, that was one of my best years lived, until I see there's another year that I could live for. But age 33, after being divorced, you know, getting back on my feet, a lot of work that was done internally that I could speak on it today. May not be in details, but I'm pretty sure, you know, the right day and time I could speak on it in details. But I'm open to share that, not hold it in. So, you know, I don't feel like I was rambling. I feel like I wanted to say what I needed to say in this due time. Hopefully, if you make it to this end of this video, thank you. Hope you're at peace. You know, today was definitely a peaceful day. Looking forward to tomorrow being a peaceful day. And I'm gonna close out on that. So you guys take care, all right? Have a good one.